our special guest?
Yep.
We promised last night that he would be here. After marking the celebrations last night to end his career, Shaun Grigg has been accepting the nods of the football world.
He's arguably the smartest player I've ever played with. He's an old school footballer. He just reminds me of a country footballer. He lives for what football clubs are about.
To the famous punt road end, riding it with him, he's got it, look at him jump out of their seats in the background.
To carve out the way he played his footy and the way he reads the game is probably better than most that I've ever played with.
That's a lovely, lovely, lovely goal.
His ability to transform himself for the betterment of the side is obviously the player he is.
Grigg launches from 50 metres out, Dusty in the goal square, it's there. The Tigers celebrating here.
He's a great person. He's always looking for ways to help people. You know, he's one of those guys that can relate to the youngest player on the list, but also the senior players. Yeah, so it's going to be sad.
Lovely words from those that shared the journey. Shaun Grigg, welcome to AFL 360.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Robbo.
How's it all settled with you?
Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days, that's for sure. But yeah, I have been overwhelmed with the support and the messages that I've heard from people from when I was a junior up until now. So it's been pretty overwhelming.
When you get to the moment where you do decide, how immense was it for you?
Yeah, it was probably more relief in the end after. Consulting with the medicos, the coaches, my family, and more within myself, whether I could get back. So, yeah, that took a bit of time, and once I came to the realisation I couldn't, it was more relief.
Are you scared about what happens now? You've been institutionalised for so long.
My wife would say I probably am, but no, probably the beauty about the timing of this, it does give me a bit of time to transition and work out what's next. The footy club have been great, so I'll be still there, ongoing with the club in a role. I'm not exactly sure what that is yet, but we'll work that out in the coming weeks.
So when you say transition out, that means you have talks with welfare people at the club to work out weekly, daily, how you're feeling, and are you missing the club? What are you doing to replace it? What about employment-wise, future? You got a family. We saw all those wonderful photos of the premiership. You got any of them blown up at home? Because they were beautiful photos.
I do actually, yeah, I do.
So they're the sort of transitioning things that you're talking about? Yeah,
and a lot of players, once they're told their career's over, is usually, at the end of the footy season, September, and then you're just gone. So the beauty of my position is that I'm still around the footy club, for another 5 or 6 months, and I can come to terms with it mentally.
So what are you going to do at the club?
The first sort of 8 weeks I've been involved in the coaching box and match committee and those sorts of things, which I've really enjoyed. And I'll take a bit of time with the footy department under Neil Barm and Brendan Gale, who are pretty fair operators. So I'm looking forward to that. And
stay in footy. Jack said last night, I don't know if you watch the show, I don't know if you were celebrating your career or not, but Jack said last night...
I usually watch the show, Robbo.
that you were one of the smartest players you've played in. Now, when someone says that, you automatically think, OK, in today's complex game of footy, he knows what's going on. Do you think a coaching role, a football role is for you?
Possibly. I do enjoy the tactical side of the game and the way the game has developed and putting plans in place and also developing players and seeing them grow as well.
So you're the forwards coach, right? Pretend right now you're the forwards coach. What's Rewalt not doing other than not getting a game?
Well, he's going to have to start in the twos, isn't he, when he gets back? Big Lynchy's going well, and obviously we need him back, and I don't really have to. If I was the forwards coach, I don't really have to coach him with Jack down there.
How significant was the mid-season draft in your decision, Shaun? And Jack said last night that he views it as selfless, that you've opened up somebody else's journey by pulling the pin now.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with it, I suppose. These decisions and situations in the past are probably made in August or late July, but with the new rules and me deep down knowing that I can't get back and help on field this year, it was sort of my gift, I suppose, to the club, and I've realised my dream of playing AFL, and hopefully if the club used the pick, someone else can realise their dream.
Do you reckon you'll take a special interest in whoever it is?
I think so, yeah, I will. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, and yeah, hopefully they can come in, and I'm excited if they do about being around our club and culture, because it's a fun place to be around.
One thing that happens great in footy now is when the clubs release the retirement videos, and so we see a lot of them. Now, when you got up and you spoke about Damien Hardwick yesterday, you said you've made me a better person, a better player, a better son. And sometimes you think that's a pretty general thing to say. You were crying at the time, and I'm not having a go. It was clearly emotional. What has Damien Hardwick done for you, other than that sort of those words? What's he done for you?
Yeah, he's been a great coach, obviously, first and foremost, and made me a better footballer. But off the field, just as a mentor, the way he conducts himself, the family he has, and just little life lessons. He's so welcoming and.
Did you need them at a time when Dimmer arrived at the club? Did you need them?
Absolutely.
To grow up?
Looking back now, certainly, yeah. He's taught me a lot about family life, how to conduct yourself, and just backing yourself in, and sort of those thoughts of fear of failure, or backing yourself in and having a go at it. So he's been huge in my career, on and off the field.
How great to have your family there to share a moment like that.
Yeah, it was. It was very good having my boys there, and my wife and parents. They've been along the whole journey with me, and yeah, I've appreciated their support, so it was nice to share.
Well, yes, sorry.
Go on. In terms of the legacy, I'll jump in. You'll probably be remembered as the game's most unlikely second ruckman in a magnificent premiership year. How does that kind of sit with you?
Yeah, I don't mind it, to be honest. When you're talking about a premiership, I'll do whatever it takes, but it was interesting how it all came about, and I had a lot of fun, not terrorising other ruckmen, but, because...
Annoying them,
Robbo, yeah, because they're so big, they're very scared and worried that they would lose a ruck tap to a smaller ruckman, so occasionally I would fake to go up in the ruck, and the opposition ruckman would have eyes on me and miss the ball, and I'd grab it. And
what about when they tapped it to you? That was quite
good.
Satisfying?
Yeah, probably my most satisfying moment was when we got into a centre bounce, and Dustin Martin actually said to me, "If you win this tap and hit it to me, I'll give you $50. So I thought, I've got to have a crack at this one. And I did get it to him, and he did pay me too.
Really?
He did, yeah.
When did Dimmer... Can you remember the conversation when Dimmer came up and said, "Now, Grigger, we've got this idea. We want you to be the second." Can you actually remember when it was?
Yeah, I think it was early in 2017 when Ben Griffiths went down with his concussion injuries.
But he was playing the forward up.
It was during a game. So
right.
We needed just relief for that game. And I think it was a three-quarter time or a half-time huddle. And I think he put his arm around me and said, "Mate, do you want to have a go on the ruck?" And I sort of giggled and said, "Yeah, why not? Let's have a go."
You must have played well, because from that moment on...
Yeah, it worked, yeah. It was something different that we hadn't seen before, and other ruckmen and teams just weren't accustomed to it. And being a good friend of Sam Jacobs, I used to get a bit of feedback off him, and he would always say how hard it was for them, because they're not used to the little guys.
One last question, Jared, before we jump in. Did you enjoy footy right to the end, outside the injuries? Was the game what it was when you were 10, 20, 22? What are you now, 29?
31.
31. Is the game still enjoyable, or did it become a job?
I think through the middle parts of my career, it became a bit of a job and a bit of a struggle. But towards the end, the culture we instilled with Dimmer and Koch in particular, of we were kids that fell in love with the game. Let's not forget about that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Let's just not forget about that, and let's go back to making training fun, making the place be enjoyable. How we reviewed games, the dialogue about your performance, all that sort of stuff.
And that changed the entire culture and the entire outlook of the playing group.
It was definitely a part of it. Yeah, and it became a place where everyone wanted to be a part of. Everyone wanted to be there all day, and whether it was win, lose or draw, we tried to keep it similar, and just encouraged everyone to be themselves and have fun, which we have the last few years.
You've got a dinner buddy over there for tonight?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, Jack. We're going out for a nice
Come over, Jack.
We're coming out for a nice dinner.
I'm sitting over here.
I've picked...
I've got my casuals on.
You got your casual look tonight, haven't you?
I've picked my guest wisely.
Who?
Jack and Dustin, so surely one of them will pay, won't they?
Well,
Jack's on 800. What's Dusty on 1.2?
Well, I took a pay cut, you know.
And the rest.
And the rest.
That's why we've invited Dustin.
Hey, Shaun, congratulations.
Well done,
Fantastic
mate.
stuff. And, I hope you feel there's been a nod, I reckon, all around the football world for your efforts Well done.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Robbo.
Shaun Grigg with us on AFL 360. The captain's run next. Bob Murphy and Nick Revolts. Pretty sure they're in fierce disagreement on a couple of fronts. We will workshop that next.